Hello, my name is Deborah Woodson. 1,000 Years of Jazz. This was probably the most influential experience on my professional singing career. I remember when I first showed up for the audition. I was so nervous. I was 22 years old. I had just gotten to New York City. I had done a bit of Broadway shows and off-Broadway musicals, but something like this I never expected so soon. So when I got to the audition, I said, what am I gonna do? And I decided, I think I'm gonna sing a song that's really in my blood. I decided to sing a song, a gospel song, because my grandfather was a Baptist preacher and so was my father. So when I turned up at the audition, I sang Precious Lord. And I guess it must have been the right decision, because right after my audition, Barry Martin said, girl, you can holler. And that began my wonderful, wonderful experience with the Legends of Jazz and the original Hoofers in a beautiful show presented by Mel Howard called 1,000 Years of Jazz. After the audition and I became a part of it, I was whisked off to costumes, hair, and makeup. That took a couple of weeks. They made wigs, especially for me. They made costumes for me, sequin costumes, and I was just enamored of the entire experience. I had songs that I needed to learn. Some of the beautiful music was After You've Gone, I've Got Rhythm, Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey, traditional Dixieland jazz. And that was all under the leadership of Mr. Barry Martin. He was the band leader, and boy, he was a character. He smoked a big cigar. He came from England. He had an English accent, but he spoke the dialogue of black people. So I recognized very early on that he had had a lot of experience playing with black musicians, especially in the New Orleans scene. Dixieland jazz. So from this experience, I learned the most I would ever learn about performing on stage, because it was intense performing in over 20 countries. We performed before the royal family of Monaco. We performed in Monte Carlo, Rio de Janeiro, 6 weeks in Mexico. I remember being in Finland for 6 weeks when it was dark the whole time in winter. I also remember the midnight sun in Sweden, and the whole time we were singing these wonderful Dixieland songs. And after the shows, that was the best part. I would sit there and listen to the stories of Mr. Clyde Barnhart and Barry Martin. I could listen all day long to hear these tall stories about Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, just to name a few. And I was amazed that I was working with musicians who had shared the stage with these legends. Yeah, I was 22, but I have to mention the oldest member in the group was Alton Purnell, and I think he was 80 or close to 80. But you would not know it. When we got on that stage, we were all one group, and we were really just surrendering to the music, and it was a beautiful, beautiful scene, especially to perform in Europe. It is very different when you perform for people in Europe than in America. Americans are pretty much, they think that it's I guess because there's so many bands in America, that people just kind of take it for granted. But boy, we were received with great love in Europe. And it's an experience. You could not pay for it in a college. You couldn't learn it in a college. You have to be on stage to learn it. And that is the way it happened for me. I've mentioned a lot of the experiences that I had with the group. One of the best experiences is when we were playing at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., and we were asked to be a part of the President's Command performance. Oh my God! That was such a wonderful experience. I can still remember it as if it were yesterday. I shared a dressing room with Liza Minnelli. I had just a big star. I never thought that I would meet her and not to let alone share a dressing room with her. But honestly, among all the excitement, In the middle of the show, I ended up going back into the dressing room with the legends of jazz because I wanted to hear some more tall stories from Barry Martin and Clyde Barnhart. Oh, I'm sure I'll never forget this experience. One thing that stays in my mind, because now I'm a gospel singer living in Germany, in Cologne, Germany, and I'm sure being a part of this show opened doors for me to even consider living outside of the United States of America. And one of the songs that transcends gospel, jazz, Dixieland, it is our song that we sing as an encore every night. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. And on that note, I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen. And as Barry used to say, I'll be the same too, baby. God bless you.